see you if you do feel comfortable. We'd love to talk to you. But just please be mindful that this webinar is being recorded. So let's go ahead and do the land acknowledgement as we relax a little bit. Let's take a moment and be grateful for the beautiful land that we are in. The state of Nevada is an amazing state, and it has been taken care of by our tribes, and we have more than 27 sovereign tribal nations here in Nevada. I do like to take a moment to acknowledge the land we're in, acknowledge that this land is the land of Native Americans. For us here in Southern Nevada, we are Southern Paiute. The land is Southern Paiute, so we are grateful for them and for all the years that they have taken care of this land that is their land, and we honor them in this moment and are grateful for being here, all of us present today and sharing this wonderful moment. And if you do want to learn more about our wonderful tribes in Nevada, there is a really cool YouTube video that PBS created that talks about Western Shoshone, Paiutes, and Washoe. So please, I welcome you to learn more. And oh, I need to share it with everyone. There we go. I just put it there. If you would like to learn more. But now I will pass it over to Michelle. She has just a little bit of updates, and then she will introduce our speaker for today.
All right, thank you, Myra. Alrighty, so again, before we start with our presentation today, we're just gonna go ahead and go over some announcements that we'd really like to share with some of the events updates that we have coming up with PCA Nevada. And so the first one is, so for this upcoming year, 2023, we have our Child Abuse Prevention and Safety Conference that will be happening down here in Southern Nevada. So that date has been set for June 13th, 2023, and it will be at Nevada State College. And we will have more information coming soon about registration information, and because it is a one-day conference, and we have had a call for proposals out, and that is due, those are due at the end of this month, the 31st, which is, I believe, is next Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. So if either your agency or anybody that you think that would have that would have a good presentation that they would like to share, please send us forward them our information. We will also drop down some links in the chat with kind of all of this information, and then we will also, since this is being recorded, we'll send out the recording. We'll send a link because we'll add it up on our YouTube page. So we'll send out any information that comes out of this webinar today. And the second announcement is our second webinar will be actually a couple of Wednesdays from now, so February 8th at 1. We are going to do an overview of the strategic plan for the prevention of child abuse and neglect in the state of Nevada. So that will include, like I said, an overview of the overarching goals, the strategic framework, and recommendations that have come out that are presented in the strategic plan. And lastly, with Child Abuse Prevention Month coming up in April, our involvement survey, our pinwheel ordering survey is still open, and we highly encourage, let's say, even if you don't need pinwheels, need to order pinwheels from us, we highly do encourage you to fill out that survey. That way we know of like your efforts to bring awareness to the campaign, and then we do highlight those as well on a report at the end of the month. So again, we'll go ahead and drop those links in the chat, and our email is on there as well in case you want to send us anything through there. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and send those, put those links in the chat as well. Alrighty. Oh, let me go back. There we go. Alrighty. And so without further ado, we'll go ahead and start with the presentation. I'm just going to go ahead and introduce our speaker. Here, let's see. So our speaker is Karen Moreno. Yeah, so she will be a speaker for today. And a little bit about her is that she is a Montessori teacher specializing in child development and music pedagogy. She also specializes in areas of early music stimulation, AB therapy, and early intervention. So yeah, so without further ado, I'll go ahead and send it off to Karen, and you can, add anything else you would like to for the intro, Karen.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you so much, everybody, to be here. And it's a pleasure, it's an honor for me to be here tonight. And I hope that this can help in any way somebody. And from now, I apologize at the beginning. My English is not my first language. So please have a little bit of, sometimes I don't speak 100% English very well. I apologize for that. I hope everybody can understand. But I think the music is our universal language as well. And well, we have something here in common. I love to see in the chat all the names and all the people is here right now because we have something in common, and that is to be aware of our children, aware of the health, the mental health, aware of our families, and that is something beautiful. I think that's the first thing we have all in common, and I'm so happy to be here. It's an honor again. And well, I will start my presentation today. Today I only will talk about instruments, but probably in a little different way. How can we apply, how can we use them as a tool to connect with our children and can stimulate naturally their cognitive area and all the areas in the brain. So about language, self-assistance, fine motor, gross motor, socialization through this tool that is an instrument. Don't think we are going to do here arts and crafts only and show you how to make an instrument, because this is not what this is about. It's about what you have at home and what you can use as an instrument, and we can make music with them and show them, and why everything has a purpose. Is not only to move and have fun. That is part of, oh yes, of course, but the main here is to make a connection with the children, they can understand in different ways, to stimulate in the sensory different way, and can go directly to something cognitive, something with how they use their fingers, how can they use correctly an instrument, and probably that can help them later to take the pencil, to grab the pencil correctly, or how can they use eyes and hand at the same time and focus, waiting times, take turns, also for behavioral, sometimes for safety reasons, like, okay, this is time to wait. Now we need to take turns. Now we need to, if this song is taking turns, all the song I'm waiting. And for some children, it's very hard to wait sometimes. So the music is a tool to help us to guide the children through something that they love, something fun, but with something in mind. Is everything clear? If somebody have the question, please let me know. And probably we can explain in a better way. And well, thank you. I'm looking here the chat just in case somebody wants for me to repeat something or have any question or a comment. Please feel free to use it. I'm so happy to answer all the questions. So first of all, I have here my notes because I don't want to go longer than an hour. This sometimes take hours and hours, and we can keep talking about it. Well, first of all, we have to know what we have at home, or what elements we can use with them. If you are a teacher, therapist, parent, or sometimes we don't have the materials that we need at that time, and we need to do something creative with the children, we need to know how to use what we have. So at home, basically, we have in the kitchen containers. We done our coffee, and we have the big bottle or we have sometimes, so different things that we can use. And it's not only, we need to remember that the instruments are not toys. Instruments are something very special and makes us like a sense of take care of something. So since they are babies, we can teach them how to use something properly and how can they have something, take care of that and know how to use it. Okay, so that's very important because we are teaching them, first of all, to take care of their own things and how to use properly everything. So that's the first important point. Instruments are not toys. Now, are different kind of instruments. Also, we can find instruments in a toy store, or we can instruments everywhere. And we have to know, if we have little ones, we need to take care of their ears because the sounds sometimes is not the same like a material that another material. So the sound that they produce can affect some children's, or some children have a more or lower like capacity to obtain the sensitivity. So we need to take care of the sounds as well. So when you have an instrument, please, if the sound likes you, you feel it's not super strong or super bad, because that is too very important. So take care of all the sensory area. An instrument has different sensory. I will give you an example with one of the instruments I have here. For example, these are from, I think from Peru. These kind of sonajas. I love those. You can use it since babies until 20 years if you want. But I like, first of all, because this material is a natural material, it's soft. If you see, has different kind of colors. And also this has like the sensory is like very rich. If you touch those, you can feel the sensory. You can hold it like this. This is more easy for babies, or you can hold it like this. So it depends, but we can start the music, start for the eyes, for the ears, for all your body can feel the music. The first time the baby have a connection with music is when it's in utero, because the first thing that when the ear is completely developed is at 5 months of in utero, I would say gestation. Thanks. So since there, they can hear mom's heartbeat, right? So that's a first pulse, and the pulse is the beginning of the music. So also I have my picture here. I love this one because it says, music is life. That is why our hearts have beats, because the same beats that we have in the heart, the same beats have the music. So since before we was born, we are connected to music in a way. And that connection, that is the heart of mom, that is like the beginning of the life, right? So that's the nature of human beings. So since the beginning, we have this sense of the rhythm, this sense of the music, this sense of the, if you listen music, automatically you start moving. No matter if you don't know the music, no matter if you are not a musician, or sometimes you hear a melody and you know how the melody done, and you are not a musician. Why? Because the music is perfect. The music is math, is mathematical. So our brain recognizes the sequence of times. So the brain is start to count without let us know, hey, you doing math right now? So the same happens with the children. Also, if they are babies, also if they have any language or auditory sensory issue or something, or they need to work in something specifically, that's why the music is so friendly, because everybody have access to music, everybody can feel the music. So with that introduction about why the music and why the instruments are so important in our lives, I will continue. So what we have at home, back to that. At home, usually almost everybody has containers, all sizes of containers, so we can use those, okay? Sometimes if we have some plates, plastic plates, we can use it too. I will show you how and what is the correct way and some ideas how to use those later. For example, I found that people who loves to do or like to massages or things like that, sometimes we have this kind of things at home. Sometimes, if you don't, I buy one of the long ones with like 10 of those, and I cut all of them. Now I have 10 widows for babies here. And I like because this is wood, so they have the natural material, they have this sensory, and at the same time, we can wash this so easy. So the babies put it in the mouth, or no matter what, you can disinfect this, and it's completely safe and completely fine. You can use it, or different kind of those. You can have, for example, if without the jogger, so you can use seeds, you can use little rocks, you can use sand. So everyone makes a different sound. I don't know if you can hear the difference between those sounds. Let me know. Or also, if you do this, if you only have, for example, a little bit of rice, you could hear rice, and the other one a little more, the sound will be different. Yes, so we can recognize different kinds, and we have ortonaja here, so easy. So sheep, you don't have to buy nothing. This is a little more complicated because those are kind of seeds. Oh, yes. Somebody has a question? Mayra? No? Oh, sorry. This kind of seeds. This is an instrument that in Mexico we use in our like ancestors, and I don't remember if this is Azteca or Maya, but this is a seed, okay? So this seed is up in a piece of, what is this called? Sorry, piel?
Leather.
Leather, or you can use something else. So all the seeds together makes a beautiful sound. You can hear. So we can use different kind of seeds that we see, or sometimes if we observe different kind of trees, we can have different rocks or different kind of flowers, or sometimes they have something like it's a little like a leaf, but it's a little stronger, and that have a sound because it has the seeds inside of it. I really apologize, I don't know the name, the scientific name of those, but if you observe the nature, you can find like different kind of materials, so you can make different sounds for them. So those are some examples. I have more for later, but for now, so when we start a conversation or when we start to connect with the children, sometimes they're very interested in the stories. So they love tales, they love the stories. So what if we read a book or we just know a story first? And then each character in the story have a different sound. So let's say, and then the rain starts coming, and that's like the drops of water, right? Or the horse came. So probably at that time, I only have this, and I make the horse steps. Another thing very important is like we can use our body as an instrument, because we have a beautiful instrument in our body. Start for our voice. Not everybody is an excellent singer. Not everybody are professional. But for our children, guess what? You are the best and the most beautiful voice in the world, because they know your voice since before was born. So if you sing to them, if you talk to them, your voice, your tone of voice, that's what we call them, they recognize it, and for them it's the most beautiful one. So you can start singing or also make sounds with all your body. And let's start with the tongue. And we can have different sounds. For them, it's so fun. Like, so all those sounds, first of all, that helps to relax, because if you're doing those sounds as an adult, you're like, okay, you feel those muscles start to relax, and that makes you laugh. And for them, it's so fun, but at the same time, they are working for language. So that works for language. So sometimes in the speech therapy, we use a lot those muscles that we don't use to work with. So we make sounds with our mouth, and then we make sounds with all our body. Let's add fingers to this. So you can do all the rhythms you want. All your body's a percussion, and every part of your body sounds completely different. So they can recognize their bodies. And another special thing here is they can recognize the body with respect and with love. Like, okay, my body have sometimes parts that I never knew or I never touched about my body, but it's with respect. I only touching, for example, this part of my chest, and I have a sound here. Or I can clap, I can do this, my legs, my toes, and I can difference, like feel all my different body. And when you working with them and let them know, for example, for language, basically like, okay, everybody clap. This is clapping, and they're using both hands, both hemispheres in the brain, the middle line, but at the same time, they are listening a rhythm or a sound. And you can have different kind of games. You can say for following directions, for example, clap 3 times and then stop. And that's a game for them. So, but first of all, they following directions. Second of all, they are auto-controlling because they are not doing whatever they want. They only have to do 3 and stop. Okay, and that stop is auto-control, but you can do it in a game, for example. And another thing is they can like recognize, like I forget the name in English, but when you do like you say something, a command, and they respond to the command. It's not only because they have to respond, but also it's because they focus, they listen, and they respond. And that kind of game sometimes help us for the not only the cognitive, but just the behavioral too. Sometimes we need to teach them to listen to us and respond in a certain way. Sometimes for safety issues. Let's say we are in the, I don't know, in the store, and we see somebody that probably we think, or a situation that is not safe for our children. At that time, we can say, come please, come to me, or make any command at that time. So your children, because you was playing with him constantly and he knows he listen and then respond to you, immediately he say, okay, I go. So they respond to something, and that is something that we can apply in the real life sometimes for another different kind of issues. The thing that I said before about the percussions in your body too is something like, I'm using my body respectfully. I'm using my body with a purpose for something. Yes, I having fun, but guess what? When tomorrow somebody else come to your children and try to make them feel uncomfortable with something about their body, he will recognize better because he used to know how he can play or touch his body respectfully. So those are the differences when a children has certain kind of games through, let's say, games playing, but at the same time conducting with a reason, and when they don't, or they never play, or they never interact with mom and dad, or they never do those kind of things. So the brain start working different ways. So when they're growing up, first of all, math will be super easy because now they know how to divide the times, make multiplications, and they don't know. And second of all, they will recognize more the sensory of them, so auto-control, listen, and also they can like relax by themselves more easily when they start to listen different tones of sounds or instruments. They learn how to listen And listening is very, very important because sometimes they can listen also themselves, like, why I feel like this, or what is this feeling? And they start to go intern in themselves because they are more stimulated in that part of the brain that make us like more artistic or more out of control ourselves. So we work in both parts of the brain with a simple little game with music. So probably I talked too much right now. Somebody has any question or something at this point? No, I don't think so. Okay, let's continue. So we need to take care of the ear at all the times. Okay, so no super hard sounds, no like instruments or material that are not safe or that sometimes are not working very well. A metal is not working very well, you can cut yourself or things like that. And this is no matter what age we are working with. And another thing, okay, the percussions. Now I will start to doing some examples of percussions because percussions is the most easy way to start through music before go to a melodic instrument or notes in general. If somebody has an idea or wants to share a song or something and you want me to show you how can you do this with instruments or what you have right now, and for example, you say, I have only this instrument, what can I do with this? This is the moment. You can ask me, feel free to ask, and I'm here to help, okay? So I will move my camera a little bit because I want to show you one by one the percussions. I have everything here. Okay. Let's start for what instruments we can use. And sorry, I almost always working here to feel more comfortable and have my movement. So let me put this a little bit. Okay. Now, let's start different kind of instruments, but the percussions, I think we have most in this country. We are so blessed to have all the cultures around the world, basically, because we can have access to different cultures and know different instruments. For example, in my country, I'm from Mexico, and each state has their own kind of music and their own kind of instruments. And I know that happens in other countries as well. So this is beautiful. It's like so rich in resources for that. So it's good to listen all kind of music. First, I don't know if somebody knows this kind of instrument. This is called tecomate. It's too like a big seed. It's like a coconut and half. What I like most about this instrument is like the sound. We pretend to be horses or you use the middle line that I was talking at the beginning, but also they need to use in fine motor this. This is very important to control, open, close, and to work the middle line. So we are working both sides of the brain. So, for example, tecomates it's a little hard to find them here, but if you have those containers that I showed you before, or also little, let's say la tapas, como digo, the covers or tapas.
And the caps.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, when you
Yeah.
open something, or sometimes I use it with the salt or things like that are a little bigger. You can use those as well to put it together like that. So you can use both and make that kind of sound. Okay, so you can use those things for that. One exercise, one song is a little song that makes the babies of any age do multiplications and they don't know they work in math. This one is very easy. For example, I will sing in Spanish, but I will tell you what the song says, okay? So this is about a little horse, and the horse first is walking. When he walks, is super small, and then the horse is going like that, and then the horse is going a little faster, And at the end, when you touch the horse head, the horse do this. Okay? So the song says like this. Yo tengo un caballito que así camina, lento, lento, lento y ya. Y tengo un caballito que también trota, 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 trota. Y tengo un caballito que así galopa. Y mueve la cabeza si alguien lo toca. And everybody make like a horse. So they have to use this and make the horse sound. But first, we are horses. So everybody walk like a horse. When you listen to the instrument, you walk lento. It's a big one. So everybody move around like a horse. And then everybody's go like marching. And then everybody go running. But when this stop, everybody stop. So that is, here we're working different things. First of all, the one who's playing the instrument is working the fine motor, the auto control, and the middle line, right? Now, second of all, the one, if they are walking and running, obviously is the gross motor, but at the same time, they're following directions, depend what the instruments say, they doing the same rhythm. When the instruments stop, everybody stop. That is auto control, self-control, sorry. And at the same time, they need to listen to know how to move, right? Then, all the time that I'm singing, they waiting to see which one will be the next rhythm. So that is waiting time. So we are working fine motor, we are working self-control, we work in gross motor, and also language, because if they are super little, they know, oh, this is a horse. Oh, this means rapido. This means slow. Oh, this is my head. And at the end, when we do that helps a lot to talk, right? Like for speak or for language. So this is a little example. So you can do this when you have at home, or like different things that you can do. Always be careful of the sound, of course. So that was the first example. The second one, for those rhythms X, those are rhythm X. Remember when Easter comes, always we have a lot of eggs everywhere, and we never use it again. So keep it, keep a couple of them, and you can put inside the same salt, sand, little rocks. When you have, close it. I recommend to use that pegamento,
Glue tape.
Yeah, you can use it, depend the age, because if it's for babies, I prefer like silicone, ¿cómo se dice? Sorry.
Silicone is the same, like, yeah,
like,
hot glue.
Safe, obviously, depending the age. But for example, I have a egg, and this one they use all the hand, not this like the tecomates. Now they use this, right? So at the same time, when we use this or the foot, we are working with the last part of the nervous system. So when you stimulate those parts, that helps to regulate all the nervous system and relax at the same time. So we did make doing this, wrapping like this. And you can have different rhythms. This one, for example, we need to focus our eye and with hands. And we are working to this attachment to things, because some ages, they don't wanna let it go to toys, or they don't wanna share something. So this game is for that. For example, let's pretend this is a nest. You can use a little basket, you can use a little box. So this is my nest, it's here. And those are the eggs of the little hen. So the song says, the hen put an egg And take care, don't go to the floor. You need to take care to go in the middle, okay? And we say yes, no, yes, no. The egg does only at the edge. We cannot put it on the floor, okay? Oh, we cannot see the leg, probably. And this song says, pon gallinita un huevo, pon que no caiga al suelo, que sí, que no, que sí, que no, que caiga el huevo en el montón. And they throw and have to be here. So you can do it with different children at the same time, and you can work different things here. The same is the waiting time. I cannot throw it until the song done. For those who love to throw things, this is a nice game. Second of all, we're working by motor again. Then, if you have different eggs, let's say I have 4 children, I will use white for one children, purple for another one, red and yellow. So you can work about the name, the color name, and when they throw it and put all the eggs together, then you need to see which one are yours. So you difference, oh, mine are white. So I difference the color. I can count the color that I had before. So you work in colors, that is cognitive, no, the note of the colors. You work in waiting times, you work in throw, and the eye and the hand have to go here. So that later helps them for writing or for focus in one spot to throw it. And also if they like to throw things, this is a good game so they can know, they stop doing without any problem, like, okay, I can throw, but I can throw there. That is one like, oh, okay, I can do it here. Perfect, thank you. So it depends the age, no? 2, you can start with a big ball, probably if they are super small, and then you go down the smallest. So they go to one specifically. So this is another example, for example. Another example. Then, okay, I'm reading the comments just in case. Then we have another instrument. Well, the maracas is the most common identical. Everybody loves maracas, or are easier to pound them. Sometimes we have maracas for babies. So this is why I choose those. You can use little jogger tooth and do your own maracas, okay? And for maracas are a lot of songs. I talked about the widow, remember? Also, the real widow is this one. And this one is called whistle. When the one that we use for the widow is called whistle. So if you have those for make the massage, for example, and a piece of food, so it has the same sound. If you have a water bottle, the plastic water bottle, you see they have like little things like that, sounds the same. I don't have one right now, but I found this at home. This is from a package or something, but I found they have this. So if I use this, and also I use it super soft. Look my fingers first, how I hold this. I can use my pretty fingers here, the position, and go soft, yes. So the children here learn, first of all, how to hold something carefully, and we prepare them for writing later, but we start here. And then, if it's a supervised, listen and feel the sensory when you feel this. Some babies are funny because when I use this in a baby class sometimes, this makes them fun, makes them super, like they laugh a lot, like they were laughing all the time with their sound. And different kind of, for example, when people, I say grillito, crisper, what is that called?
Grasshopper.
This one. For example, I sing a lot of songs about them, and this is the sound. For example, Tengo un grillito en mi jardín. Tin, 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 tin. Tiene su casa en el jazmín. Tin, 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 tin. Cuando llueve y hace frío, el grillito busca abrigo, duerme en una cuna de acerrín. Tin, 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 tin. Basically say, this little guy lives in my garden and he lives in the jasmine. And when it's raining or it's cold, this one looks for a shelter, something like that, right? The song. But all the time I'm singing, they waiting. Only ding, 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 ding. So that is, again, out of control with the rhythm. And they have to take this in a certain way correctly, always like that. And they know when they know using this, they put it on the floor. Because if we are playing with this, obviously what can happen? So we don't say don't do that, but I instead of that say, can you tell me what can happen if I have this in a bad position close to my eye and somebody is behind me? What can happen? So the children start to think, oh, this can hurt my eye. Yeah, that's true. Let's put it on the floor when we don't use it. Only when we use it, we're ready to play in this position, and then you can do the game. And you can have different games. In English, you can have a song where you, I don't know, tell me songs in English and I get, but a song like have to do this and then stop or things like that. Okay, what age group is best for these instruments? Basically, you can use this instrument since babies, I'm talking about 3 months, but also 7 years old. 7 years old, they enjoy all these games. Because, for example, what I do first, the game of the horses, let's say. With the babies, you have your baby here with you. Also, yes, you have the baby here with you. And then you doing like, tengo un caballito, entonces my little horse, lento, lento, and then roll back, or you can stand up with your baby, I like that, and you do that movement, walking around, and he's feeling first. Then you sit with your baby, and you make your baby hold the instrument with you, and you do it at the same time. Because before the baby feels the rhythm, now they recognize the song, they let me do this. Then when they start walking, they can do it by themselves. We let them, we do our part and we give another to the children so they copy us. No matter if they are out of time, no, it's okay, but they learn, and also they learn it out of control, like, oh, they stop, okay, I stop. Oh, they okay. So, and then when they are like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, they used to like this, believe me. And some stories I use like different, completely different sounds. You are the frog and you are the horse and then you are the rain with different instruments, and they wait all the story. And this is around 7 years or 8 years old. They waited all the story. Oh, I'm the rain. Oh, the rain is coming. Okay, I'm the rain. And then the little grass creeper came. But the horse was super close. Oh, it's leaving. So that makes them, for when we're reading a book and we want them to comprehension reading, they put attention in every single detail of the reading because they know they have something to do with an element on your reading. So that helps help us to sometimes for that. I have obviously big containers. Also, this one sounds amazing. Really, you try in different ways. And you can use not only with dance, but you can use also with the hands. And that's beautiful. Sorry, this is the real baby, of course. But when our babies, we used to do more like this, sorry, because they cannot alternate yet. But when they are at a certain age, like around 2 to 3 years old, they can alternate. So you can do songs in a different, when they are smaller, the pulse is faster. Remember the heart? So because they're smaller, the heart is faster. So the faster rhythms are easy for them. When a baby, you want a faster rhythm, the baby can follow faster. But when they start to growing, they can control and wait more. Like, for example, I have a game about Apu. Apu is an Indian, I don't know, es un indito? How will you say Indian? No. Well, Apu lives in the mountains and Apu has a drum. So we call Apu. And we're like, oh, what is happening? Oh, I think it's coming. You can hear it. Apu el indiecito está tocando el tamborcito. Apu el indiecito está tocando su tambor. And then we change. So, for example, two different kind of rhythms, both hands together, the brain is doing something, but when we alternate, the brain is working something different, but they continue in the same rhythm. And then we say, hi, and then let me see if Apple is coming again. So you can invent your own games, no matter what, or you can, a song that never exists, you can create a song and make them to create with you the song. So we can have drums. I use all what I have at home. Coffee, those sounds amazing too. And also to make this, I don't know if you can see, but this is just, I made it at home. So it's very easy with this material soft. And then this. So you can use it. So you can put something.
Karen, what is that white ball? What is it?
Es unicel. ¿Cómo se dice unicel?
Oh, styrofoam.
Yes. So
Okay,
this,
okay.
but use a silicone to be sure, and then you can cover with something only because if they put it in the mouth or something, it looks cute, but I don't have more of those now. Or the same. No, you can choose. I don't like to paint them because with when you use it, depending what kind of paint you use, sometimes fall, or sometimes if they put it in the mouth, I don't want to use nothing like that, you know. But if you have a piece of something like that, socks that you don't use anymore, also some that are so cute, you can put it a little bit, and you have your own. Remember, this always helps us for fine motor and focus in one point on the center. Okay, you will take this on the center. For example, you can set like a ball. Like you have two balls here, and that is the ball. I'll make the sounds of the rain. Oh, one finger. The rain is coming. 2 fingers, and more rain, and they love that. Stop. Okay, so you can have different kind of games, different kind of sounds. With just this, you can have different activities. Also, when feel free, you can. I can leave Michelle all my information. If you need ideas or you want to know how can I use this, probably I'm so happy to help, and I hope this, I don't know, and one way help everybody. If you have ideas with the children, or you want to work something specifically about behavior, about fine motor or cognitive or something like that, and I'm so happy to help. And thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for be here, because that is very important to me, because at the end of the day, what we want is like connect in different ways with our children, and that make us and make them like feel better. And that is a consequence of that is that we will be better human beings. At the end of the day, the music relax and connect and makes us happy, but we have a purpose. The purpose probably is teach something, help in something, but that connection is very special and that never done. So thank you so much for your attention here.
Thank you, Karen. I have a quick, I know we have just like 2 minutes, but what is just one thing that you would recommend for providers that work with families to keep that music connection as kids are growing older? What are some things that they can do?
Well, first of all, when you teach them to use the music in different ways, they never forget that. So that's why I like one song you can use it since babies. Maybe you make a massage at the baby singing that song that your grandma teach you, and then you discover, oh, this sounds like the frog that I told you. And it's the same song. And then you can change the instruments, or you can change the level of concentration for the children with the same song. So the same song can work for babies and for 7-year-old, but obviously they do different things. At the point they move, and one point they just feel, and another point they are already playing the instruments or singing the song. So I don't know if that answered your question. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Another question, everybody? Anybody else? No? Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Karen. Thank you again for doing this presentation for us, and I hope that everybody has found some, very useful information. In the chat, I did put the some of the links of the earlier things that we talked about, and at the end, I did put on there Karen's website, but again, we will be sending out her contact info in an email tomorrow with all the information, and then the recording as well. So other than that, again, thank you all for joining us this evening. And if there are any questions, please feel free to email us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.